Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I am your host, Don Yazzie. My co-host, Darren Yazzie.
Hey, what's
live
up,
from
guys?
Chum Bucket.
Yep.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, everybody got to have their own chum bucket. I got mine.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're here live at Bikini Bottom.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And today, Darren and I, we have a very, very special guest that we crossed paths with not too long ago, and he is Lenny Jones of a Coach 5515 of YouTube, and Darren barely he barely got into his chronological, his videos and all that stuff, all that great stuff, all the scary stories. And, every now and then I go back into YouTube and I watch it myself. You can't get enough of some scary stories out of Central Agency, for real. For real. Darren, yeah, what's your thoughts on before we bring on the coach?
Coach, he is an EMT, emergency medical, and he has a bunch of stories that he came across. It was centaurs, a bunch of skinwalker stories, and he talks. He's real. He's a real person. He's actually he lives it. He lives it, and he has an open mind about everything, and and I respect that. It's good to go into this. It's better to go into this field with an open mind, and also have your feet on the ground. And especially not everything out there is a skinwalker. Not everything's out there is a ghost.
Oh yeah,
the stars in the sky that you see flying around. It may not be a UFO. It's good to question yourself. So. Coach is one of those guys, and I like it. I respect that. So, it's been a long time coming, but we got Coach on 5515.
Oh, yeah.
You see on YouTube. And,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you, Darren. Heck yeah. And we'll give the people what they want. And what they want is Lenny Jones, Coach 5515 of YouTube. And here he is, everybody, without further ado. Wow, there he is. What's up? How's it going, Coach? It's an honor.
Hey, pretty good.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, how's the weather treating you out there in Central Agency, Navajo Nation?
It's pretty nice today. A couple of days ago, it was raining and snowing. Today, it's okay. It's pretty warm.
Oh, awesome. We have plenty of people looking forward to this episode from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and beyond. You have quite a name that everyone knows out there, and everyone's been bugging me to get you on the podcast. And I was like, hey, we'll see what we can do. And pretty, sure enough, and here you are, and it's an honor from Darren and I for sure.
It's a unique place that we put ourselves in, especially on this podcast. We meet a lot of interesting people, and you're one of them. So, no surprise there.
Yeah.
And people watch you, and they tune in. So, yeah, like what Don was saying, they wanted you on. So here we are. We got you, and we're here to let you cook. got some questions to ask too. So,
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. Yeah, I didn't know you guys had a show like this. I'm pretty I am pretty busy. Like, trying to get into podcasts and everything. But thanks for having me on. Yeah, one of our well, actually, there's a guy that was a police officer here in Chinle, and now he's a police officer somewhere else, and he has his own YouTube channel as well. He's the one that contacted me, and then as soon as he contacted me, then I contacted you guys. So it happened pretty quick, and
Right.
I appreciate it for having me on, and I don't mind coming on anybody's shows or like doing something like this. So thanks for having me.
Oh heck yeah, heck yeah. We know plenty of people that would like to have you on their show. But I'll run it by you, and I'll see if I'll run it by you first before anything. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, oh yeah. So, Coach 5515, could you tell us about yourself, where you come from, and your clans, if you want, if you like, and you can open up your story that way and start off from the earliest memories of your highly strange experiences.
Well, my name is Lenny Jones. From Chinle, Arizona. I was born in Gallup, New Mexico. When I back in the day, there was no hospitals here in Chinle, so or there was no place for OB people to have babies here in Chinle. So my mom had me in Gallup. Um, so I was primarily raised here in Chinle. Spent all my life here. Moved away for a bit to Tucson, Phoenix area. Came back here on the res to work. But I was in my early 30s when I came back to the res. Um, so other than that, earliest memories of anything happening was shoot, man, we were young. Growing up with my cousins, we were dang like babies because where we live at here in Chinle, there's always been activity, and we live right in Chinle, so there's always been activity coming around and people messing with my uncles and my aunts and my nollies. So there's always something going on here. There's always been something going on here. But clans, I'm Klasche, born for my Deshkizni. Grandparents are Huaslane and Kiani are my nollies. So those are my clans.
Awesome.
well, so,
Pleasure to meet you, brother. Pleasure to meet you. No questions yet for me. Darren, does he relate to you anywhere?
no. So,
Oh, okay,
some,
that's cool.
yeah.
That's what's up. That's rare. But yeah, man,
I have family
welcome
all
to
the way
family.
here in Chinle.
Uh-huh.
I mean, all the way. I have like a lot of people related to me in Chinle, and then I have family out in New Mexico, toward Fruitland, Farmington. I know you mentioned earlier you guys went to Skinwalker Canyon, and like all that area. There's a lot of people related to me too as well. And I know my mom has told me that my my great Nolly, he was part Ute too, so have a little bit of Ute in me.
Oh, that's what's up. Same here. We're all mixed with a little bit of something, that's for sure. We're all blended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Coach, could you oh, Darren, you got a question?
Oh, no, not. I'll let Coach take the screen for a while. Tell us about your first encounter where you had you couldn't question it, but it was that. So, what was your first experience? You just brought that up with you and your cousins. Let's start right there. Let's get that going.
So of course, like during the summertime, we would just hang out, play outside at night, and um, we would, in where we live at, there used to be a big area. There wasn't really many houses. There was probably only maybe like 4 or 5 houses around,
I think we lost them.
in the back of our way in the back, of course, there was a horse corral and a sheep corral together, and it was pretty dark back there. So we would just hang out at night. Of course, our nollies, they would get kind of upset that we're out um, when the sun would go down. Um, and they always told us, don't be outside in the middle of the night or when the sun goes down. Make sure you're back inside. So there was times when we would just be outside and still playing basketball or riding our bikes around, and they would try to chase us inside. Um, so there was one time when we were just hanging out. The sun was down. It was starting to get dark. It was still dusk outside, and for some reason we made our way all the way to the sheep corral in the back, and during in the corral the fences are up, and then my uncle was still building the corral. He was adding on to it, so there was boards or logs that he put up like this that were leaning against the corral. So they were hanging out like this, and one of my cousins wandered back there, and we were kind of walking back there at the same time. He was up ahead of us, and um, we saw a white figure with like green eyes, just hanging out, and, like just standing against the pole like this or in between the poles, just looking at us. And it was white with green eyes, is all we saw. And of course, there's a street light, and you could kind of see the reflection. You could see it was white, and you could see the green eye, the eye shine. So we saw that, and we just ran back inside. So I think we were probably about 9 or 10. But other than that, we'd hear things like on top of the roofs, and things jumping, walking on top of whatever. My Nolly's house, or like whatever, scraping on top of the roof. So that was one of the earliest things that we've noticed around. But we've heard stories from my aunts and uncles about skinwalkers coming around. So
when you say white figure, do you mean like it had a body, or was it more of a spirit?
no, it was a body. It was like
Was it body?
it had like, it was like furry, and then at the same time,
furry.
like I'd say like the eyes were green. It kind of had like a snout like a dog, and then like you could see like white fur on it. But on the inside of it, it had like it was like how a dog looks, like it was like a giant dog just like hanging out.
Whoa, that
Damn.
damn, that that's pretty creepy, bro.
Whoa.
Thinking back on it, what do you think it was? What do you think this thing was?
I think it was a skinwalker.
You think it was Skinwalker? Man, that's the first time I heard something like that, man.
For real.
A white dog standing, green eyes. That's eerie. That's
It was like on top of the poles where the poles were up, and then like of course they were leaning against the fence, or so it was kind of toward to the top, and it was just hanging out, like it walked up or crawled up, and it was just like chilling.
Huh. Wow. Has anybody ever talked? Have you ever came across anybody that mentioned stuff like that around your family, or?
Yeah. My aunts and my uncles would tell us, of course, in the middle of the night, it would get hot in the house, and my Nolly's house, it had 2 rooms in the back, and both of them had doors outside and windows, and then in the middle was a living room, and then the kitchen was up front. So like when it would get hot, they would open up all the doors and all the windows, and they say like in the middle of the night there was things that would come around. And they said it was skinwalkers, and then my uncles would chase them skinwalkers, and they would hear them on top of the roof, of course, walking around. So
does your family still live in that same area?
Yep.
Wow. How's the activity now? Is it still the same, or?
I'd say it's not as bad anymore because there's like more houses around. There's more people around. So it's not as bad. Or I don't notice anything. I stay up pretty late at night. I didn't go to bed until like 2:30 sometimes, and sometimes 3 o'clock, and I don't really notice anything. Then at the same time, we have like a crack house, or like people that sell drugs right behind us, and there's people walking around back and forth right there all the time.
Oh,
So
Yeah, that's a sad reality of some stuff. There is,
yeah,
So
that's like almost every community has that for real.
mhm.
Has either the crack house or someone that's bootlegging. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. Um, the only time I heard something that had green eyes was Benjamin's episode where those ladies summoned the spirit, and it was tall and white and had green eyes. He's playing peekaboo with him in the tree. That's what it
Yeah.
sounded like
Mm.
his story. So that's pretty scary. So how's the centaur activity out there in Chile Wash so far?
I haven't heard anything else about that. But there's coworkers that I live with or work with. I'm sorry. They say there's all kinds of stuff down there at the wash, right where they live at, and they say there's all kinds of crazy things that go around there. I didn't even know there was like any of them around here until my coworkers saw it, and they described it to me, and that thing was out like at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was crazy. Then my other coworker, he said his aunt, came across that one. So he's the one that wanted to tell me that story about that.
Yeah. Run the story back for the audience about this.
So this was more than like 10 years ago. Coworker and was out. We got a call. She got a call out toward the Chimney Wash. So in that wash, there's a lot of activity, I guess. I didn't even know there was like things around. Of course, there's things around here in Chinle. And so they went out for a call. A guy got assaulted, I think it was, or a lady, something like that. So they went back there and tried to look for the person, and at the same time, there was officers that were looking around for this thing or for this patient, and I guess somehow they came across a road where it kind of got thick back there, and they couldn't drive anymore, so they started to turn around, and they went over some hill, or there was a hill where that centaur came out, and it looked at them, and the officer saw it, and the EMT saw it. They were both in separate vehicles. One was in a police unit, and of course we were in an ambulance. So not me, but my coworkers. They said that thing stood up on like a little hill or like a little berm, and looked at them, and they said the body was a horse, and the head was the body was a horse, and the top part was a person, just like how they have in the movies.
Yeah.
So that's they said as soon as they saw that thing, or they locked eyes on it, that thing took off back in toward the wash and stuff. And right where they had that sighting, there was like no houses or anything, and it's really thick with bushes, branches, and trees.
And this was during the day, right? This is broad daylight.
Yeah, it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, man. I think doing this podcast, you come across a lot of stuff you never thought would be out there, but sure enough, people report it. And I had one told to me too that this centaur was picking green chili, surprisingly, and putting it in a bag in a little satchel that he had. Yeah, dude, it's one of the weirdest stories that was told to me. I was like, centaur, for real, So we, there's stories like that out there in the reservation, and even goatmen. People see goatmen, gargoyles. We had people talk about gargoyles, vampires. Wow. Man, you name it, dude. It's there's a lot of stuff that goes creeping and crawling out there.
Yeah, I thought it was just skinwalkers around here. and hear
Same.
to hear that, you know, like it kind of freaked me out, and then I didn't believe it at first, but you know, like
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
yeah.
What was that? Oh, did we lose him?
I was
Oh,
plugging in my. You
oh,
hear
there
me?
we go. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we hear you now. Sorry, we kind of lost you for a second. It was repeating. I was like, "What the heck?" But can you hear us though?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. Sorry, go ahead. We kind of lost you for a second.
Oh yeah, like I said, you know, like yeah, I didn't even know there was all kinds of things out here on the range like that. I thought it was just like skinwalkers, but you know, like like I was saying, my other coworker, his family member came across that too, and this was up probably like another 10 miles from where this sighting happened, and this same thing, you know, she got off work, her ride broke down, so she was walking home, and she heard like a like a horse following her, you know, like a you can hear them when they walk. It was like soft ground too, so she could hear something behind her, and all of a sudden, you know, like she said that it came up behind her. She saw it, so she took off running, and she kind of ran. I don't know how far she ran, but she went and hid behind the trees, and that thing, you know, ran right past her, the centaur, and
Wow.
she saw the same thing, you know, body of a horse, and the top part was a human.
On that story, didn't you say that he had like white or yellow face paint and large black eyes, right? And he had like dark, well kept hair, wasn't it? That story.
Um, I don't remember that one, but that one, I think the one you're talking about is that one was um the guy that another coworker saw a bunch of
Oh,
horses running across the road, and she saw the like the wild Indian holding on to the side of the horse, and his face was painted white or yellow.
oh, okay. Oh yeah, he was like a Yanny Han type of deal, a skinwalker type of deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
man.
one, one word fact about them is, these people that talk about these skinwalkers, they're usually depicted with some type of face paint on.
yeah.
So, one, I had my mother talk about it, and she said that that one was painted red, red face paint. So
Yeah.
that's just a fact of what I don't know why they do that, but I think it has to do with the. I think you would be like spiritual ascension. You reach a different level, uh, doing stuff like that.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
The one I seen was
or
white. He had white face paint. And my cousin seen a centaur in Miami Valley, and that one had white face paint. And it was his eyes was glowing red in the dark. He thought
that's
it was
crazy.
a regular horse coming up to drink water, and he was jumping on the trampoline 7 o'clock at night is when he saw it coming up.
That's
So
crazy.
um yeah, man, it's wonderful. It's amazing. It's good to be into this field right now. You're always going to be amazed no matter what, and we don't know a lot of things. And that's good. Makes us feel like we're tiny again. I think that's what I like about it. Um, Darren, you have any questions for Coach?
Oh yes. What was your influence in doing the YouTube? What pushed you? What was the pushing force for you to start your work on YouTube?
This COVID, you know, like we couldn't do anything, of course, like COVID had shut down everything, and you
Right.
know, like it was just, I don't know, I was just at work, and you know, like something happened at work, and we saw, you know, different things, and I just, you know, just decided to put something out and say, oh, you know, like this is what happened to us, this is what I've seen since I've been working with EMS, and this is the type of stuff that, you know, like you know, that we see on night shift. But you know, that was just the reason behind that.
Yeah. I think that was the perfect time because all of us were locked down, and I was looking for anything on YouTube. That's when
Yeah,
I think that's when the first time we found you as well. COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Nice.
then they always said, you're not supposed to talk about these things, and they're going to start coming around and start bothering you. Like, and I've always something's always happened. They've always been around, like I said, and people used to say like, you're gonna have to have something done, and like being an EMT, I always, still now I always say, add it on. As soon as I get out of EMS, I'll have something done, and all this will, it's all it'll all take care, be taken care of. So ceremony wise, so that I just started telling my stories, and people became interested, and I just kept telling stories one after another of my experiences and stuff like that. So it was interesting. I still have stories, but I just get too lazy to post or try to put them out.
Oh, right
Yeah,
on.
we understand that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Starting to understand that a bit more too myself. So, but we're still here and we're still kicking. We still got to keep going. The world keeps spinning, so
Yeah.
we got to spin with it. So what's your latest story that you have? That you wanted to talk about. You can talk about it right now. You know.
Oh, last night, like we had one of our ambulances get called out to a place, um, and they went all the way out to Forest Lake. Uh, they got a refusal actually, and on the way back, they were almost back into Chinle, and they got another call out toward Pinon. So this ambulance, they pulled off right outside of town here in Chinle. There's an airport, so they decided to turn in there, turned around, um, went back toward Pinon, which is about 45 miles from here. So they were on the way back, and probably like 10 minutes later, they got canceled. So on the way back, they made it back to Chinle, and then um, they got another call out toward Cottonwood actually to meet up with a vehicle. So they met up with the vehicle. That vehicle just passed by them, and so they went back to that airport turnoff. And when they turned around, they said there was something inside, or right where the cattle guard was, right in the middle of the cattle guard. There was a boot, like a work, like a guy. They call it the Che boots. Like they slip on the ones that the Che's wear. Um, you know, it was a work boot. So inside that boot, it was sitting on top of the lid for a bucket, a plastic lid. On top of that was the boot, and then inside that boot was the animal skull. And they said that wasn't there like an hour prior to that. So whatever left that, they took a picture of it and they showed me. It looked pretty weird.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, man. Tell me about it. These stories that we get all the time. It's always something new.
yeah,
There's a lot, and with that, it comes with a lot of questions too. I know that these skinwalkers, they on occasion they leave a trap. For people on the side of the road.
yeah,
Like I was warned. We were warned one time about a saddle. They said if you see a saddle, brand new saddle laying on the road, don't pick it up, leave it alone, because these skinwalkers, they go by when you go and pick it up. That's when they kind of blow stuff in your face, and they take whatever from you. So it's that's just a warning out there. So
yeah. That's crazy. I never
yeah.
heard that one, but that kind of makes sense.
Uh,
Hmm. Yeah, and MV, they leave things right in front of your door. They'll mess around with you all night, and when you
Yeah,
come in the morning time, they'll leave like a bone and if you grab that bone, they'll have like a little powder or residue on it when you touch it with your hands. So you
Yeah.
can't grab anything. Yeah, when even on your door handle too, you look at that white stuff that's on there, and you have to examine all around your ride because they'll leave like a bone, and they'll leave like a some kind of weird turquoise type of rock or something inside of it with powder. So it's just just strange things that they leave behind. So don't handle it with your normal hands, everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
um, uh, well, yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, okay. One of the stories that I really liked that you shared was your multiple stories from Canyon de Chelly.
Yeah, I was
Oh
gonna bring
yeah.
that up too. So yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
we were my cousins, of course my cousins, we grew up with them, and we were, just got out of high school, graduated, we were, nothing to do, we were bored. So, a few of us are all like, let's go to the canyon, let's see, because we've heard stories about, you could hear like different things down there, like people, like in Massacre Cave, you could hear the old people back then, getting massacred. You could hear horses running down on at the bottom of the canyon, and you could hear drums. You could hear people crying. People yelling. You could hear the gunshots from the soldiers. So we were like, let's go check it out. Let's see if you can really hear that stuff. So there was probably like two or three vehicles that we all followed each other up there with. There was a bunch of us. So we went up there, and we got out of the vehicle, walked to the ledge, and we could really hear all that stuff for real. You could hear all that going on. It was crazy. You could even hear the bugle from the army, the soldiers that were down there hunting the Navajos.
Wow.
So
Well,
it was crazy. You could hear the crying, the drumming, all of that all in one. And we went out there probably like 3 or 4 times that summer, and every time there was something different that happened. So that first time, that happened, and we just, of course, we were young, we freaked out, we took off, and then like the second time we went up there, we kind of like summoned something. My a good friend of ours, we took his Dodge Caravan up there. So we at that time we heard all that going on, and then one of our other friends, he threw a rock down there, and you could hear just like the rock tumbling down, hitting the side walls of the canyon, and it was a huge rock, so you could hear it land at the bottom of the canyon. You could hear a loud bang. Then we heard like clawing coming up the canyon walls, like a cat clawing up the walls. So we were like, listen to that. So we heard it, and then he threw another rock, and then like a couple of seconds later, we heard like a weird scream, like it came out human, and then it came out to like a animal. It started out human and turned into an animal. So we freaked out. So we took off, got back into his van. So he lives like in the housing, not too far from here. So down the street, we had one of our other friends that lived a few houses down. So we dropped him off. This was probably like 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. So we dropped him off, and my friend was driving. I was sitting on the passenger side, and then his brother was in the back. He's the one that threw the rock, and like we saw like different parts of an animal on the road, in the middle of the road. So he kind of pulled us. So I told him, "I was like, Reg, move up a little bit." So we moved up probably like a few feet, like 5 or 6 feet, and there was a cat head that rolled from his side And he opened the door. He goes, "Damn, it's a cat head!" Like somebody just like yanked it apart. We thought it was dogs that like ripped the cat apart, and that cat head was sitting there. And he right where he was sitting, he opened it. He goes, "That's a cat head." So there was like no wind or anything. That cat head started rolling. It rolled all the way to my side of the door, underneath the vehicle. And I opened the door and I said, "Dude, man, there's like legs and there's like the body over here, and there was like blood like everywhere." They're like, "Damn, let's go." So we took off, went back to his house, a few houses down, got out, and like probably we were hungry, so we kind of started heating up some food. So this was probably about 10 minutes later. He had a Rottweiler, he had a regular like a regular res dog, and then he had a couple of small dogs. So all those dogs started going crazy in his yard, and his yard is pretty big, so they were all like chasing something back there. Dust was all kicking up, and it was going crazy. All those dogs were barking, and pretty soon the whole neighborhood lit up with all those dogs barking throughout the whole neighborhood. And then his sister woke up, and she kind of like has like I don't know, she senses things. So she has that kind of like the ability to she kind of knows that when things are around. And we're just sitting there in the kitchen. Well, actually, we're sitting in the living room, and she comes out. She goes, "Where'd you guys go?" We're like, "What? We didn't go nowhere. We're trying to lie." She goes, "You're lying. Something followed you guys." And she's all like, "They're whatever's followed you guys. It's being chased back there by the dogs." She goes, "You guys are stupid. I don't know why you guys keep going up to the canyon." And she knew we were up there, and then like we were all freaked out, and of course the Rottweiler is the one that was going crazy, and he told, and it was my friend's brother's dog, so he told me, he's like, go get see if he can calm them down. So he went back there, and he was scared of the dog. The dog did not want to listen to him. He tried yelling, nothing. He goes, "Man, oh, this is scary." He goes, "I don't want to go back there." And we just left it, and then I don't know how, but the dogs, they kind of calmed down. So I took off home. Of course, it was late, so I took off home, and then the next day he went to go to his grandpa's house to see what that thing was. And my one of them got sick, so they went to his grandpa's house. His grandpa was a medicine man, and he had something done, and he told them whatever we threw rocks at down there, whatever that was, that followed us back. And they said on top of that there was a anasazi that was back there too. And he said, he was telling us, those anasazis are little, and they that's what was back there. So that's what the dogs were chasing. So it was a skinwalker and an anasazi back there. Wow. In his yard.
So I guess they work hand in hand, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Then growing up, I used to hear stories from guys that used to live up that Canyon de Chelly area, and they used to tell me like there's still anasazis around, and I didn't believe them, of course, and I thought they were crazy. Here it sounds like they're still around up there in the canyons.
Coach, do you think the everyone is saying the little people and the Anasazis are the same thing?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh.
I've heard stories from little people all the way up in Wichita area. I've heard one story of a guy passing out in the middle of the wash out there, and it was raining. A guy passed out, and something covered him. He was drunk, passed out. Something covered him with a blanket, with bushes, and something. And when they looked around to where he was at, there was little footprints around, like little kids' footprints. And they were saying like, "Oh, why would a kid be out there in the middle in the middle of in the middle of the night, and when it's raining, and there's that kind of weather. So they figured out that was those little people or those Anasazi. Of course, there's ruins up there, um, out in that area too.
Wow.
Uh,
Navajo Mountain in Miami Valley, we have the little people too, and then there's like the gnome looking ones as well. And we
Mm.
have this mesa at Navajo Mountain called Lost Mesa. It's a whole Anasazi ruin. It used to be a fortress, and
Oh,
when I go up there, we can hear people talking, like behind the cedar trees, and we go over there. There's no one that's over there. We go over there, it's over here. And
yeah,
all those trails are still well kept, and those archways are probably like less than 3 feet tall.
yeah,
And I just like thinking like, is there little people still here, or the Anasazi's ghosts still there? So I can't really pin it down, like if are they the same thing, or it's just gonna be questions on top of questions. And
yeah.
it's strange. Darren, you got any questions for Coach?
uh, yeah. Strangely enough, that's what they say at these ruins, that you can hear people talking and strange stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I don't know why it's like that, but a couple of my relatives did the same thing. They went to go check out one of these rooms at night, and sure enough, they started hearing whispering and singing strangely. It was in
Oh,
this ruin. It's like 2 or 3 miles away. It's way out there in the tree lines and all that stuff. So as for why it's like that, I can't tell you. But one fact is though that people do hear these whispering and talking at these rooms. So. Uh, and they also say don't pick up anything over there. Leave the pottery shards
Yeah,
alone.
yeah,
So and that's another fact too. As for why there's a bunch of pottery shards all over these areas, I can't tell you.
yeah,
So
yeah,
um,
yeah. My
so
my uh, my wife's family. This was down in a little bit north of here. They call it Valley Store. I guess there was an old trading post or old store there, and they used to call it um, Valley Store. And they said that where my mother-in-law built her house, there's an old Anasazi ruin there, and there's Anasazi ruins there. So that's where there's they have a lot of issues, health problems going on there, and people get sick over there, and they kind of attribute it to that where they built their house. So they're all over the place here.
yeah, for sure. Um, right beside my house too, there's one. I don't know if the Anasazis out there build it on top of mesas, but most of the ones out here in the Rama, that they're usually on top of mesas. So
uh
yeah. But these areas I wouldn't mind checking out myself. Especially this area where you Chaco Canyon, where you seen all and heard all these talking. I'd like to go out there one of these days and put a nice little
Cage.
audio camera out, or so
Cage. Um. Oh, sorry. Go ahead there. Sorry. I
oh
had a
yeah.
question. Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't mind, send us a drop pin of this area where you guys had this experience. I wouldn't mind going out there myself. So
Hey,
yeah, I can
Coach.
do that.
Coach. What about that one story? Wait, I think I missed it. Or where you said when you guys were taking off that one time, one of your cousins or somebody was banging the side of the truck, and they saw something hovering over the tree coming towards you guys.
Oh yeah, that's that same area. Like that that was probably that was the first time we went out there. Um,
Oh,
I had my cousin sitting back of the truck, and they were um, getting out of there, and they said you could see something on top of the sagebrushes floating after them, and they said it had like a white dress on with white hair, and the thing was all white, black eyes, and they said it was all floating behind us. So that was the first time we went up there.
Yeah.
Oh, Darren, you
so
ready for that?
Oh yeah, man, ready to run, dude. Let's
Oh, man.
let's do it.
Woo. That's creepy right there, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
we had
man.
a little truck back then, and they were sitting on their back toward the cab, and they could see, in the road away going away from us. So that's what they saw. Yeah, we were, I don't know, we were bored, so we go to
Sounds
these
like
places,
this.
and then like
Heck yeah.
we had a friend that we used to hang out with, and he lived out toward past many farms, and that's where he kind of told us about a skinwalker cave. So we ventured out there, and few of them went into that skinwalker cave because it's kind of a hike. You have to go park at a different spot, and you have to probably walk like a half mile. They walked through the sand dunes down into a wash, and then they made their way back around through the wash, and then there's like a cave over here onto the left side. I remember that, and all you could hear was one of my other friends, the guy that was driving that night. He's all, "Wow, look at that! Check that out! What the hell is that?" Like they were all excited, and they saw all kinds of stuff, and they came as soon as they were done. We came back around. My cousin, who was up on top, he was telling us that you could see things like running around from bush to bush inside that wash. The wash was pretty wide. I say it was probably like I don't know, probably like 200 yards. You could see little like things running around in there. I think he said they look like abiches. And this is in the summertime where there's no supposed to be no abiches around. And they came back, and we made our way back to the vehicles, and there was baby footprints that were backwards all over our vehicles and all around in the sand dune area where we parked at. The feet were like backwards or flip flop.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Opposite, kind of like that.
Yeah.
What the hell? Okay, that makes it even more creepier. Jeez. Wow. You ready for that, Darren? We checked out one Skinwalker Cave. Why not? Let's check out another one,
But
What were you gonna say, Darren?
I was say, like, yeah, it's not a. I was told one story about a Yebiche. People seen Yebiche out there, and how they put it is it looked just like a Yebiche. You know what they are. Everybody here knows what they are. What he was saying was it looked just like that, but the eyes were shiny white, and that it was 9 feet tall, 9 foot tall. So sitting on the road, when he drove past it or came across it, was sitting on the road. I think it was on a road from Page to. Oh man, I forgot where he was heading to, but it was on one of the roads back there. So, yeah. So, that's a totally different can of worms right there.
The Navajo Mountain, they're like around 9 feet, 12 feet tall is what their witnesses been describing, and they see him in 3 a.m, and it's glowing. It's like giving off light, and it's like peeking behind the tree, watching them try to unlock the door to the house to get in while they're looking back like, oh snap! They're really scared. And I know you have a few. I know you have some amazing Yebiche stories, and I was wondering if you don't mind sharing them with us.
Yeah, one was told to me by a guy that we used to coach with. I coached football with him, and he was a state trooper for Arizona, and they used to live in the junior high housing here. And one night he came back late, probably like 3 or 4 in the morning. He was saying that, and he parked his unit a little bit from his apartment, and he said he heard like bells rattling down the street, and where he lives at was there's a street here, and then around the corner, and that street goes all the way down, and on that side, the whole side is storage units. So that whole side inside that compound is storage units, and then there's apartments on that side, and in between there's apartments. So he said he came back and he heard the bells ringing, and then he heard a couple of dogs barking way out in that backside. So he decided to turn around in the corner. He stayed in the dark. There was no light where he was at, so that whole place is lit, of course. So he went through and kind of peeked his head. He said he couldn't see anything. He heard something rattle again. He heard the bells rattling. So he kind of made his way into the dark, stayed in the dark, and he said way at the end of the street, he saw a Yebiche standing there, and this was in the summertime as well. So he said it was the main Yebiche, the one with all the feathers and stuff, and he said it was all buckskin. He was wearing buckskin, and he was all white, and he said he kind of stayed out in the dark, and he was monitoring him. And he said he stood there for about 5 minutes, and then it kind of kept bending down and like standing up, bending down, standing up, and like it was messing around with the dogs, and then all of a sudden he had his radios on, and his radio was loud, so his radio kind of went off, and he said that thing just jumped over the storage units, boom, jumped over it, and he said after that he didn't hear anything from it.
Wow! Whoa! That's a good one right there. That's something to look out for now. Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Phew. Oh man.
Yeah,
What are you gonna say, Darren?
Yeah, we had one of the guests on TikTok. He mentioned that too, something like that. I think it was out there in Shiprock that they seen a Yebiche, and they next to a UFO or lights in the sky, what they were saying too. So he said it was peeking over their fence, and that fence was pretty high up. So people do see these things, which is really odd. You know, people, you see them dancing in the winter, and then there's nothing strange about that. But strange, oddly enough, people see them out of their dance placement. So it's really weird. It's really odd. Even these kachinas. People see kachina dolls. These kachinas, same thing.
Oh yeah,
9 feet tall, and they're dressed up like that. And it's kind of the backbone of I put reason, why, when, that people draw these things and they make sculptures out of wood. I tell people like they just don't do that just to do that. They had to see it. They had to see them. Spirit of the West, I guess you would say.
Yeah. I heard one story to where this was when I was in high school. My high school coach, he had a whole collection of those either kachinas or Yebiches in his house, and he was just buying them every now and then, and I guess he got the last one, so he put them all on a mantle, and he said he woke up one time and they were all dancing and they were moving around on his mantle. So he was like freaked out about it. So after that, he kind of just put him away, and he didn't put him back out.
Yep, that's not surprising, man. That I had one man tell me the same thing, that these things would, just like Toy Story, when you're not home or they're not looking, they're running around the house. And I had one gentleman, he said he actually recorded them, and he had a medicine man come by. He actually took the kachinas and the video. So as for what he did with it, I could not tell you, but that's
wow, that's cheap.
That's crazy.
Weird. It's strange, man. It's really weird, dude. For real.
Coach, I like that one story too, where you shared about that cross country team being chased by Yebiche as well. Could you share that one for the audience?
Yeah, that one is this summertime again. They had they still have a good cross country team here. So in the summertime they train. They took, well, I guess one time they took off. They ran up the mesa, which is just west of here, west of the school. Also, they ran up probably like 5-6 miles or something like that. And that where they ran, it leads you up the mesa, and then on that backside, there's that county road. It's a county road. It'll take you all the way back out to Rough Rock, which is 30 miles from here. And then you used to hear stories about, don't go back there to those rocks. There's things back there, is all people used to say. So they ran up there, and they're on their way back. They turned around, I don't know how far on top of that mesa, so they're on their way back. And then the cross country coach, he pulled off to the side to make sure, these runners were okay. So they were running back, and one of the last runners, she was running in, and this Yebiche pulled out from way down, because when you go up the mesa, it drops back down and it flattens out. And this thing started coming out, and they said it was the Yebiche. Started running after the girl. The girl turned around. I guess she had earphones on. She couldn't hear the coach like calling or anything. So she turned around, and she saw something running after her. So she took off, and the coach kind of got his ride started, went toward her, and told her to get in. So whatever that was, they said it was the Yebiche, but of course it was probably a skinwalker. And they said way back there, there's rock formations, and there's Anasazi ruins out there, and there's little caves and nooks and crannies, just like how they have the Antelope Canyon and Lake Powell, or out toward Page. So there's little caves back there, and they say there's cave back there where the skinwalkers meet up. So I think that's where that thing came from, is what they were saying.
Wow. Creepy, man, for sure.
And then, of course, this was like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Broad daylight. What have you heard seeing the Yebiche during the summertime? Like anything you heard about that, like what people say is good or bad, or because I've heard people say it's a skinwalker, and I've heard people say that it's trying to give you a message to relay to people, and it will appear in your dreams as well too. Try to give you a message. But what have you heard about that?
The thing I've always heard it was a bad thing to see them out in the summertime. Of course, they're only out in the wintertime. That's the only time they should be out. And I've only heard one person say it's a good thing, but I haven't heard anything else. But most of the time they say it's a bad thing, because they're not supposed to be out in the summertime, and they're only supposed to be out in the middle of the night dancing. And that's what I've heard. And the thing is that it's weird, because that's the second time I've heard. Well, yeah, the second time I've heard that it's been out in the daylight in the summertime. And the first time was when I was, out running myself too. This was only a couple miles from where that sighting was, where I was, doing some running, working out, and a coyote ran past me, and I don't know if it saw me or anything, because in where I was running, it's a wash also, and then on the sides there's little hills up there. So I was kind of doing sprints on top of a hill too. So I was kind of in like where it was closed off, and that coyote ran through, and then on top there's a ledge probably like 15-20 feet high. There's a ledge up there, and that coyote ran up, and then I kind of sprinted up. I was doing, of course, my workout, sprinted up, came back down. Was kind of catching my breath, and I saw Yebiche kind of like turn right when it turned. That's when I saw it walking away, and it walked away from the ledge. It started walking that way, so it started walking back to where it came from. So I ran up really quick, and I just saw that coyote running back up the hill. So to me, they say, "Could you see a coyote? You see Yebiche in the summertime? It's not good." So I've heard anything that's good about it. So I don't know.
Wow. Darren, what do you think, Darren? Are you still there? Oh, he froze. Jeez.
Oh,
Um, so that coyote definitely must have been a skinwalker, huh? Going into coyote to Yebiche. That's
yeah,
creepy, man.
yeah. Because we're not that far from those rock formations from where they say they seen the Skinwalker cave. My
Mhm.
one of my old coworkers, she said they used to keep their cows back there, and she said the same thing too. They used to see things back there when they were tending to their cows. Um, she said that her family's land back there where they keep their cows. That's their grazing area. She said they used to see things back there too and hear things.
Man. Darren, you got any questions for Coach?
Oh yeah. You always hear stories of spirits following EMT, the ambulances. Uh, have you ever experienced anything like that? You ever get that feeling that spirits on you or inside the vehicle with you?
Yeah. There was a time when we were driving and you just hear of course it's just me and my partner and in the back we would hear I don't know like the gurneys they of the stretchers the gurneys we call them gurneys they you have to kind of like squeeze them to sit them up and they go up and down and so one point we heard like that squeeze like we can hear it when we squeeze that gurney and squeeze the gurney, you can kind of hear it, when you lift it. So I was driving and my partner was sitting on the side, of course. Where we were just talking and stuff. We heard that noise, and then we heard, like somebody squeezed the gurney and it popped up. So when we looked back there, turned on the lights back there, and the back of the gurney was sitting straight up, and then we kind of looked at each other and we're like, we didn't have nobody back there. We got a refusal, or we're like we didn't have nobody in the gurney. So there's this stuff like that happens in the back of the ambulance when you're driving. And then you hear the sliding doors, they'll slide open and close, or you can you'll hear stuff drop in the back, and there's this stuff that you hear when you're driving in the ambulance, or like one of our EMTs, he took a nap back there in one of the ambulances, and he woke up, went back inside, and then when there was a shift change, he went back out, and he was gonna clean the gurney, um, him and his partner. So his partner went out, and she opened the door, and she's all like, "Aaron, what happened back here? There's something wrong back there." Or like she noticed something, and here the gurney sheets. It was they you can lift like 400-pound people in that gurney sheet. It's kind of made from some kind of material. So when she opened it, there was like somebody cut it, like or either that like a cat probably like scratched it. So there was a bunch of scratches on that gurney sheet, and it was all ripped up. So my partner was all, or not my partner, so that guy Aaron was like, I didn't even do anything. I was just took a nap on there. And he's in there's like weird stuff like that. Or even like when I filmed told one of the stories, um the sliding doors is one of them is hard to open and it's hard to close. So when you have to really like pull it and it'll slam open, and when you close it, the same thing. You kind of have to muscle it. So I told my story, and I know we just got back from a call. We sanitized the ambulance. All the doors were closed. That sliding door was closed. So like I told my story, and here that sliding door was wide open. So there's just stuff like that. Like I said, that happens in back in the ambulance.
Hmm. Wow. That's that's creepy, man. I have to admit, that's pretty creepy stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
How about your hospital that you go to? Is it the same way with like that too? It's kind of it's really weird. You go when the light or what night stuff just gets um, weirder. Yeah, I don't know how to put it. Like
Yeah.
you go into a church during the daytime, but when you go at night and the lights are dim, it just has an ominous feeling about it. Same thing with the hospital too. You go during
Yeah.
the daytime, there's a lot more
Yep.
life running around, but during the night, everything's all the lights are dim, and it just have that ominous feeling. The long hallways, and
Yep.
it's weird. So, uh,
Yeah. Yeah. There's stuff that happened like that. Actually, it always happens. Most recently, like last week. This was during the day. It was during day shift. I was in the office. Well, actually, there was three of us in the office. Two of the other EMTs were there in the office, and we have some chairs that you can roll. They're pretty loud. Well, actually, they're stools, so they're pretty loud when you move them around, shift them around. They make a really loud noise. You can hear it, and um, in the area on the other side of the wall, there's our storage area where we keep our equipment and our supplies. So there's people that EMTs that sit there and they'll do the reports, or they'll just chill out there. So the three of us were just talking in the office, and we heard the one of the stools roll. We like somebody pulled it, because when you pull it, you can really hear it. So it sounded like somebody pulled it, and they sat in it. And we had another EMT, another ambulance there. That crew took off, and the girl that was with that crew, we thought she was left behind or something, and we thought she was still sitting back there on that side of the wall. So we um my one of the other EMTs, she opened the door and she goes, "Is so and so still out there? I thought she went on the call." So she opened the door, looked out there. There was nobody out there, and
Mm.
it's pretty weird. And that same area too, there's a supply closet. So you have to push it up, pull it, and then pull it down to open the supply closet, and it makes a really loud noise, and it's plastic. So um, there was one of the other EMTs. She was standing on the other side of the wall, because there's the office, then that little area, and then on the other side of that, there's just an open wall, or a wall, and then that's the entrance to the ER for the ambulance. So she was standing there texting. She came out of the ER. She was standing there texting on the other side of the wall, and I was sitting inside the office, and we heard that supply closet open, and I went out there. I thought it was her. I kind of just like this. I don't know. I was kind of like just need to get up, I think. Walked out, and then she walked in at the same time, and we both looked over there. We're like, "Did you hear that?" She goes, "Yeah." We both said, "Yeah." We both heard it, and there was nobody in there. Then that supply closet was down, and we have to keep it closed at all times. So it was down, and something opened it. Is weird stuff like that.
Wow. Um, I take the conversation are pretty open amongst you guys about dealing
Yeah,
with stuff like this.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
which is good.
Some of the EMTs, they have stories, they have pictures. Like I said, some of them take pictures. It's pretty weird.
wow.
I have a sister that or a cousin sister that does EMT out of Kienta.
Yeah.
She takes her nap in her unit too. And when
Mm.
she does, sometimes that ghost would just stroke her hair or even
Yeah.
try to braid her hair while she naps. And
Yeah.
she'll just be like, "Oh, forget it. Just she's gonna take a nap."
Yeah.
So she's grown callous to it in a way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you experienced anything like that as well?
Um, with me, I don't really sleep in there. I don't take any naps in there. It's just like I said, like the door, the doors opening and closing, or when I told my story, that door, I know that door was closed. Just stuff like that.
Mhm.
I know um one of the YouTubers, the Aussie Family Vlogs, Warren, his mom used to be an EMT back in the day, and like her and her partner were driving, and they said they saw the Grim Reaper standing in the back of the unit. So when they were driving, it kind of because there's sliding doors, or either that there's a full door that you could like a small door that goes from the front to the back, from the front of the cab to the back of the ambulance. Usually it's like a small window. So she told a story to where she her and her partner saw the Grim Reaper, kind of peek up to the back window, and so they saw it come up and kind of backed away, and they saw it standing in the back, or sitting on the gurney, like the where it flips up. So the back of the gurney was flipped up, and it was sitting right there, looking at them.
Wow. So you guys literally had death
Hmm.
following you guys, huh? In the
Yeah,
cab. Wow, that is
yeah,
crazy.
A lot of
yeah,
people died in there too, so it only makes sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Whoa.
nobody dies back there. We try to keep them alive.
Oh,
if they're
jeez.
if they're gone, we don't pick them up. If they're in trouble and they're trying to save them, that's when we CPR. So like we say, nobody dies in the
What?
back.
Okay. Man, so it's just maybe following her or her partner, you think?
Yeah,
But oh man, that's unsettling to think about though.
yeah,
Woo-wee.
yeah,
Yeah, I do not want
yeah.
that.
There's stories where like I've heard people picking up skinwalkers, and like they've been hit by something, by a vehicle actually. People hit the
Oh,
skinwalkers, and they get called in, and they try to start IVs on them, but their skin is like really like rubbery, and they can't get no blood. Like these
oh my
people
gosh.
smelling. It's crazy.
Wow. Picking
Yeah,
up
Could
that.
you
skinwalker. That
could you
that is
tell us oh sorry, go ahead there. Go ahead
uh
there.
yeah, wow, picking up skinwalkers, man. That is something else.
That's a
That's
new one.
another level right there. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Um Yeah, I've heard a few stories like that as well, and they didn't end well
Mm.
because people would get involved and take out that person with the clubs or sticks while the EMT's trying to save his life. So I heard a story like that out there by Fort Defiance area one time. Oh
Huh.
man. Um, so I heard a story that you shared one time about someone driving by Nirvana Pass, and then they seen a ghost of a native woman flying right over like in a buckskin. Could you share that one with us, please?
Oh, that one was um my friend Reggie's dad. Uh, they were going toward they were traveling late at night from, I think it was during like Navajo Nation Fair or something, and they were going in between Fort Defiance and Crystal, which is on the way to Narbona Pass, and they said that when there's a story to where a lady was hit back in the day, and her ghost runs around right there, in between in that area, and they said they were telling that story. Actually, they were telling that story while they were driving, and like a few miles down the road, they saw that lady standing right by the highway. Um, she was kind of facing away, and she was wearing like a white jacket, all white, and it looked like when they passed by, it looked like she was floating. So that's how that story came about.
Wow. So, you guys ever see any weird things in the sky? You guys drive around late at night? Well,
Yeah, yeah, I have. Um, so this call was all the way out toward Three Turkey Ruins, which is toward the Spider Rock area between Spider Rock and Noslini. And we were on a bus route looking for a patient, and the guy that I was with, he used to be a former bus driver, and he knew the that area that we were trying to look for that patient. So we were driving around. This is probably about, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning. We were driving around, and there's actually a junction up there where these roads they cross, and we couldn't find the patient, so we kind of flipped around trying to look for him, and then we we were heading east, and then we turned around. We started heading back toward the south, and all of a sudden there was a right at that junction. Right when he turned around, he kind of turned his head to look, make sure there was no vehicle coming around. And in that area there's like no vehicles at all, hardly anybody lives out there, and there's like he was just making sure there was nothing on the road, no cow, nothing. So as soon as he turned, I saw like a green light. It was flashing at first, and then all of a sudden it shot straight across the whole, it seemed like the whole res, that whole valley, from up where we were. um you could see you could probably during the daytime you could probably see all the way across, probably about 20 to 30 miles. So this light just shot straight across the whole sky, like it was just a straight beam of light, like a laser. And it shot straight across, and it was gone within like half a second. And then it was weird just to see that light. It was weird because a couple of flashes and boom, it was across all the way, like 30 miles.
wow. Has you ever talked to anybody that mentioned that same story too, or seen the same thing?
Yeah, there's the guy um I was with, he said he knows a guy that he's a bus driver, and he lives in that area. And of course I coach basketball and football. And he he was driving our bus one time, and I told him, because I think we were going down to state basketball tournament, and we all stopped and we had to feed the kids, so we were at a restaurant. So I was telling him, I was all like, Jackson, Duke told me that you live up there, we're trying to look for a patient. And I said, I seen a light up there. And they said it shot straight across the res. And he goes, oh yeah, those that happens a lot up there, we see those all the time. So it's nothing new to them, I guess, up there. And then the that same story, not same story, but the same guy I was working with, we got a call. um I don't remember where it was. I think it was toward Pinon. So there's Highway 191, which runs from Utah all the way down to south of Arizona, or it runs up and down Arizona. That's Highway 191, and that is um, the main highway in Arizona, and then one of the main highways. And then Route 4 is from 191 toward the west, toward Pinon. That runs east and west. So we got a call, and we got canceled or something, and we turned around and we're on the way back. And And the cemetery is pretty new here in Chinle. It used to be at a different location. They ran out of room, so they started it at a different area. And from that area, you can see the cemetery. It's probably about a mile away, but you could still see you know like the graves out there during the daytime. And then in that area, there's a rifle range too. So the rifle range is probably about another, I say, about half mile from that location. So we're driving down. Um, so coming down that Pinion Junction, there's a hill that you come down, and then there's a curve that's called Banana Curve, and it comes back into to Chinle. So we came around that curve, and then when you turn that curve, you could see the cemetery. So to the right, since we're coming back toward the north. So I looked over to the cemetery, and there was two like spheres, like the spheres that are in Vegas. Um, but they weren't that big. They were probably, I don't know, about as big as a vehicle. And of course we could hear the PD radio. We're connected with PD. We could hear the radios, and there was only one officer on that at that time, I think it was. And one sphere was glowing red, then one sphere on the other side of the cemetery was glowing blue, and it looked like I said, the spheres in Vegas like had like the perfect circle, and it was pretty bright. And I told my partner, I go, damn, check that out. And he's all like, what the hell? So we just kept driving, and then we heard the officer, and the officer was way off in a different location, so it wasn't him. That was like one of the weird things we've seen too.
Wow.
Lights in the
That's it.
sky, man, all across the res.
Yeah,
And your partner, just imagine what he's seen, because them bus drivers are one of the people you would gotta talk to, because they would see all kinds of crazy things as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Darren, you got any questions for Coach?
Well, it's a little bit of everything, huh? Freaking, you got ghosts, you got UFOs,
Yeah.
Yetis, EABTs, a little bit of everything on your
Yeah.
side.
He has this one
Bigfoot too.
story there. Oh yeah, we haven't even get into Bigfoot too. That's where I'm going to lead
Well,
into right
right.
now. But before we get into that, what about that one story where I keep telling the story to people because people are having a hard time separating dogmen and the Yenadloshis that can transform themselves to like a werewolf creature type. And I was wondering if you can share that one story that you had on your channel.
Which
About
one
that
was that?
one kid that was like from Chandler, and he seen a werewolf skinwalker that was speaking to him in Navajo, saying that your church is not real or something like that. He was at
Um,
Round Rock, I think, helping at a ceremony at his uncle's.
oh, that one was that was one of the guys that I guess he watches my channel, and he wanted me to tell that story.
Mhm.
Um, he yeah, he said that this thing used to come around and mess with him. And it was a skinwalker, and it was bothering him for a long time, ever since he was a kid. And he was playing outside one time, and this he said this thing looked like a wildcat, and it was wearing a hat, actually wearing a hat. That the way he described it, it was like the hat was, the brim was flat, and then the top was square, and then there was like um jewelry or something around the top of the hat, and then the face was like black, it looked like a wildcat. The face was all like furry and stuff. And he said that thing kept coming around, and kept messing with him. And he was saying that nobody can help him out, because he's so powerful. That Skinwalker was telling him he was so powerful that whatever he does, is not going to help him, that he's going to still come and, bother him if he wanted. So, that's one thing that he was saying to that kid, that nothing's gonna stop him from doing what he's doing.
Wow, that's man. You have a lot of creepy, stories, man. Some of these kind of got just the chills just listening to them, bro. But with these, yeah, I think we heard a voice the on our side. I don't know if you heard a voice, but on occasion this happens on the podcast, man. You'll be surprised by what random voices that pop up.
Yeah.
I know for our Bylis, or not a Bylis, sorry, St. Carlos Apache, we heard a whistle, right there on the camera. We don't know where it came from, but we heard it. I think we had one of these incidents that happened right now. So we're obviously getting somewhere, and so.
Hey, Coach, on that one story, didn't you said that it was tall too, on standing next to a basketball goal? What?
Yeah. Yeah, he said that thing was huge, and he said the way it was dressed, it would look like a cat, and the shirt was all torn up, and the pants were all torn up, and like it looked like the Hulk is what he kind of said, and he said like that thing grew into the clothes, like, and it ripped it. So that's what he was describing. He said what he saw and what he looked like. So that's where that story came from.
Dad.
Man, okay,
But
now
where?
I'm gonna have to rethink my saber-toothed tiger encounter now. So it looked like an organic tiger, big giant cat, but no, that's another fuel for nightmare.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Darren?
Yeah, we got a werecat, I guess you would say. I don't know. I don't know where to put this. This is wearing clothes. Transform, maybe ripped its clothes up. Man, that is
Yeah.
unsettling right there.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man,
Did
yeah.
he, so how does
Um,
that story end? Does that thing just float off or run off, or did he say anything more?
I guess it just left, and I don't know if he got help. I don't know if I know he's traditional and he dances powwows, and I don't know if he got help. He didn't really say that what happened to it, but he's still okay. The guy is still okay, and I don't know if it's still bothering him. Um,
Mm,
but he lives out. He doesn't live here around here anymore. He lives somewhere else. So
wow.
hmm, for good reason.
yeah.
Um, Coach, could you lead us into your Bigfoot stories?
Yeah, the one story that we had was my grandma. She passed away from COVID. She was one of the first ones to pass away from COVID, and um, my mom kind of missed her, and this was the that first summer of COVID, and my grandma, they have a summer sheep camp up in the Chisco Mountains. So we kind of went up there and try to get my mom to visit that place, and she has a lot of memories up there, and my grandma has a cabin up there. So we went up there, and we decided to cook lunch and just hang out. So at that time I used to watch one of the Bigfoot shows, and I was just messing around, like how they would hit a log against a stick or a tree, the tree knot. So that I was just messing around. I was doing that, and um, of course it was out in the Chusco Mountains, so there's a forest up there, and where my grandma's cabin is there's behind her cabin is a hill. So we kind of walked up there, did like the tree knot kind of thing, and we walked back down, which is probably about 200 yards to where my grandma's house is at the bottom of that hill, and then my grandma's house, or grandma's log cabin is there, then probably I say about a quarter mile away is like a natural spring, where the horses and all the animals they drink water. So we were walking down. It was my wife and I and my granddaughter. So we were walking down, and my mom, she was just sitting there at my grandma's log cabin. She was just sitting outside. We didn't have a key to get in there, so she was just sitting there outside. And we were walking down, and um probably this was probably like 5 minutes after we did the tree knock. We were walking across the way, and on to the right side of the log cabin, to the south side, there's another hill with trees on it. Across the way is just an open field, where that spring is, where the water is, that watering hole. And my mom was just sitting there, and she said, when we walked there, we hung out there at the water for a while. We came back up. My mom, she said, "Did you hear that when you guys are walking that way?" I was all like, "No." She goes, "What you?" So I asked her what she heard. She goes, "There was something whistling over here on this side from the hill." And
Mhm.
and I was all like, "Dang, that's probably Bigfoot," because just watching those shows, they whistle too, of course. And like that's one thing that I thought of. And 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 my mom used to tell me that my uncle used to stay up there all summer long, and he used to stay up there, and he used to be by himself at times. And he said there in the middle of the night he would hear something knocking on his cabin, or like rocks being thrown at his cabin. So he could hear rocks. He could hear rocks on top of his on top of the cabin, hitting the roof. So she was telling us that, like, my uncle used to have Bigfoot. Bigfoot. He used to hear Bigfoot, or they used to mess around with him. He used to come around, knock on the log cabin.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty
And
cool.
then, yeah,
Uh,
the first kind of thing I had with Bigfoot was, I used to live in San Carlos, and I was not San Carlos, in White River. My ex at the time, she used to work at the IHS there, and they have IHS housing there. So she had one of those houses. So way the back corner is the house that we used to live in, and then in that back corner there's just the forest, nothing back there. And there was a few houses, like probably half mile away or something. There was another road that used to lead back there, but there was, like, back there was it was empty, just like trees here and there you could see. And one morning in the springtime, I remember it was the springtime, we left the window cracked open probably like an inch, um, because it kind of used to get stuffy back there. And we uh we were asleep, and all of a sudden I heard dogs barking. And like, that woke me up. So I was just laying there trying to go back to sleep, and then I heard, or this smell came through, and it was a really strong, like musky smell, like a wet dog, and um like a I don't know, like something spoiling or something like that. And it was a weird smell. It was really strong to where it got me nauseous. And the dogs in the whole neighborhood were all barking and stuff, and I'm surprised like nobody woke up. And this was probably like 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock to 5:30 in the morning. So I woke up. Of course, they used to tell us, like, growing up, don't be scared, go check around, see what's around. And so we woke up, or I woke up. My ex was still asleep. She didn't wake up at all. So I walked around the house. I walked to the back, and in the back, we had a fenced off area, and it was probably, I don't know, probably like 100 feet um, of backyard. So I walked back there, walked toward the fence line. I was just listening, like listening out. And then all of a sudden I heard the dogs barking from from the other houses, which was about a half mile away. Then you could hear like those dogs chasing something, and it was going pretty fast. And then I heard like the dog started coming back toward us, toward where we were, where the house was, and you could hear like heavy like stomping, like boop 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 boop, like really loud. And then we heard like I heard like a weird scream on the other side of the hill. So I figured that was Bigfoot too, because of the smell, like how people it smelled like a skunk, like how people say it smells like a skunk. It smelled like that, and rotting carcass. It smelled all that like in one. And then at the same time, there was a lot of Bigfoot activity back then in White River, and they used to publish it in the newspaper, and you could hear people talking about it. And we've heard a couple stories too from people that did that, and Bigfoot was around. So
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
For maybe a year or two, there's been a lot of activity out there in Bigfoot, and even during their, they have like the fair season.
yeah,
They have the WM and had a Bigfoot on there, so that
yeah,
just speaks that this thing was running around there
Yeah.
for a bit. So
yeah,
Used to visit White River too a lot and camp there at the lakes, and that was the first time I ever heard multiple of them howling out there
yeah,
by, I think it was Lake McNary.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that was, yeah, that was amazing. So,
yeah,
that was my first time actually hearing Bigfoot and hearing him digging the trash can, digging in our waste. And all
yeah,
the Apaches would tell us, leave him alone. Just let him do it. Just don't shine the light. No, nope. Just leave him alone.
yeah,
And they would just, just tell everyone, make everyone aware. Just say, don't panic. Just let him do whatever he's going to do and he'll go.
yeah. Yeah, those they have those houses on stilts, right? We heard this story one time from one of the ex's coworkers. Um, of course, the snow gets really deep, and they have their houses on stilts, so it sits probably, I don't know, like 4 or 5 feet off the ground extra. So the lady lived out in the middle of the forest, so her kitchen, she was washing dishes in her kitchen, and the window toward the sink, it's about 9 feet off the ground, and she said Bigfoot was just staring at her when she was washing dishes. And then she kind of got mad at it. She started yelling at it, and then that Bigfoot started pounding on the side of the walls, and it was shaking the whole house. So she was kind of freaked out about it. She told people about it at work. So that's one of the other stories that I heard.
wow.
Oh man. What about what's the most scariest story that you've heard from your point of view?
Um, the one that just the one that I told you guys about, where the cat was ripped apart when we were up at
Oh,
Massacre Cave. Yeah, that's the one that really freaks me out all the time.
Yeah.
So, because
mm,
you see, I mean, there's a cat head that's like rolls out of nowhere. It's not windy. It's all torn apart, like some. Yeah, that I think that's the most freakiest thing I've seen
Mm.
or experienced.
very unsettling.
Yeah.
So, what's your plans for the future? Are you planning on doing some more recording for YouTube, stuff like that, or?
Yeah, yeah,
Or
I do. I just need to get, it's just start need to just post. I'm
right?
planning on probably have some coworkers share their stories if they want to on camera. If not, then I can probably tell it too, because we everybody has a story. Like I said, everybody's had some kind of experience with those things at work. So I'm planning on it.
Nice, nice. yeah, the EMT and the police department and fire department, they especially on the res, they always encounter word happenings, skinwalkers and stuff like that. But you know, only pray for the best for you, man. So especially dealing with the public eye and all that stuff. So do you have any? Do you have weird feelings about posting stuff like that, or how do you deal with the possibility of a ghost following you back, or you telling stories like this, or telling uh talking about stuff that we're told not to talk about.
Yeah.
I know for my side, since we did the started the podcast, just little stuff out there would be kind of odd and weird placement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, like one incident out
Um,
here. Oh yeah, go.
for me, I mean, like people like hearing it. They say we're not supposed to be telling about it, but like I just put it out there just because of the stuff we see at work and all the experiences I had and the time when I was young and being stupid with my cousins or like my friends and like I mean people enjoy it. For me, it's just I don't mind telling them because people know they're out here and there's stuff that are going on that have been going on that will continue to go on. I mean, like it doesn't bother me, but people want to hear it, and I mean, I tell it.
Right, that's what's up.
Yep, most definitely. We, definitely me. I drew a lot of inspiration from you, and I don't know if you. One of my other handles on YouTube is Hustin Dola. That's my Navajo name. So we've been chatting for like the past few years, a little bit here and there. So
Yeah,
I just like to say thank you for all the encouragement, and it brought us here, brought me to find Darren, and we started the show. We're on the
yeah,
radio now, and you have a lot of people following you. I don't know if if you noticed that, but if you do start a podcast, man, you're gonna have a lot of followers right away, right off the back. Navajo, non-Navajo. So I have the Zuni people and other people from Montana like asking me,
yeah,
"Hey, get that guy Coach 5515 on." So I'm like, "Yep."
yeah,
I'm gonna have to find him somewhere somehow. And sure enough, the stars brought us all together and
yeah,
to give people amazing things like this. And like to say thank you for your service for the people. You guys
yeah,
are the eyes and ears, and we value that for sure.
yeah, man. Anytime, man. I mean, like, there's a lot of stories that everybody has different kind of stories, and the other tribes, and they have their stories, and there's other nationalities, other people of color that have their stories. Of course, some Hispanics or people from Mexico, they have had their stories too of like skinwalkers. They have those down there, and um, you know, um, I'm glad that you guys started this and you guys keep going. I mean, no hate or anything. I'm glad you guys are doing this too, just to have people aware, and it's a great that you guys are doing this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But that's it, those people, like yourself that started doing this, and it influences others. I don't know if you notice now people. You got Don. He's kind of the fanboy. You got a fan. You got fans out there. Surprisingly, and
Yeah.
you influence people. Just by you wanting, just sharing stories like that, you influence a lot of people.
Yeah,
Especially awareness that these there are things out there, and it's okay to talk about. And we're trying to beat that taboo of not talking about this. So
yeah,
uh, people, I don't. I guess they would feel comfort, in knowing that someone else dealt with this or I seen this, So um, it's a really unique life out there in the reservation. No one else. I
mm,
don't think no one else in the world can experience stuff that we do. that we have.
Yeah.
So,
Most definitely.
yeah, we're running down
Um,
to our 2 hour mark.
Yeah.
Is there?
And
Yeah, is there?
hey, Coach. Oh, sorry, Darren. Didn't mean to cut you off. Coach. Um, Probably this summertime or in the near future, I was wondering if you don't mind, like, collaborating with us, maybe take us to where the incident happened, and maybe you could be a conduit and draw it out, and we can catch it on film. We can
Yeah.
experience the same thing you did and see the same thing you did. And I think to share with all the viewers and listeners out there would be an amazing treat. Just to be like, hey, we seen this, he's seen this, and we caught it on film, and we're not crazy.
Yeah.
These things are real, they're out here. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
to make the public aware is the ultimate goal, for
Yeah, no
sure.
problem, man. I mean, just let me know when. Way ahead of time is good for me because my schedule at work. Any time, just let me know.
Oh yeah, yeah. You and Bluebird for sure. He's the one that linked us up. Shout out to Bluebird on TikTok. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Appreciate
yeah,
that, brother.
yeah. He's a
Darren.
full
Oh,
police officer too, so he probably has some stories. So one of the stories that I told was um that that is it happened to him. So that's one of the stories I shared.
oh,
Oh,
okay. Definitely. I'm gonna have to tag him on this one and say, hey dude, coach made it. Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
Let's schedule. Yeah, for sure. What were we gonna say, Darren?
his story you mentioned, right, on the
Uh,
Bluebird on the podcast right now.
yeah.
Okay.
No. His story was a different one that I told on YouTube. It's he was looking for somebody out near the canyon area, and he got on the radio and he said he's going to go look for the guy. The guy apparently beat up some family members. When the guy usually does that, he take off into the canyon area. So I guess he took off trying to look for the guy, and then um, I think when he came back, his unit doors were open and they were locked. And I heard him on the radio say to the dispatcher, all my windows or all my doors were open, wide open, and I know that it was locked. Is what he said on the radio. So um, that's one of the stories I told. That was
Oh
his
yeah.
story.
Wow.
Okay. I think I remember hearing him tell that on one of the TikTok lives. We do
Yeah.
TikTok lives twice a week, and we just love hearing everyone's story. So if you do make one, please let us know, and you can jump on the live and just
Uh,
add to the flavor can.
all right.
um but yeah, man, we're running low on time here. Darren, you want to say laters to everyone so we can close out the show?
Oh yeah. Everybody, thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. We got Coach 5515. Make sure you go visit his content on YouTube and like, share, subscribe from there. And drink plenty of water. If your bodies are made out of water, if your urine looks like the Monster Energy that you drink, you probably need to hydrate. So to that, another great episode. Coach, you have anything else to say to for the people out there?
Yeah. Just
And where to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. LJ35.25 is my Instagram handle, and Coach 5515. I don't have anything else that I'm subscribed to or have any other platforms. I haven't posted much on YouTube in the past year and a half, but I'm just kind of being lazy. But I do have stories, and I'll try to get something up. Um, but other than that, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Like I said, it's a great platform for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Appreciate that, Coach. Thank you for all you do in your service and everyone in your field. And Godspeed and many blessings and protections over you guys out there all day, all night, for sure. We appreciate that. From the regular Navajo citizens to you guys out there, we appreciate it. So, excuse me. We are running low on time, guys. I'm going to close out the show right now. Do you guys want to say the last goodbyes to all the viewers? All right. Let me set this outro out. Okay. All right. Here we go, guys. Thank you for tuning into Don't Whistle at Night. We have been broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm your host, Don Yazzie, my co-host, Darren Yazzie, Coach 5515 right here. From us to you, you guys have a great one. Stay beautiful, and remember, don't whistle at night. Peace.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.